All right. So good day, everybody. Today we'll be looking at the second part of paper 1. Can you all see the slide?
Yes.
You can, sir.
All right. So today will be multiple choice questions, rational close. This is part 2 of paper 1, yeah? Okay. Now, yet again, we'll have 3 criteria to discuss. For every part, we will have our discussions on the basis of these 3 criteria. The first one is the type of the question. The second one would be the challenges, and the third one would be the tips. Now, the first one, types. Okay, it's an extended text. The question will be based on an extended text. The text will be as long as 250 to 300 words, and that is not very long. Okay, this is probably the shortest to be in comparison with the others. There will be 10 questions. That's a plus point here. This is the question, this is the part which has most of the questions. If you were to consider the first part, you only have about 8 questions. Part 3, 8 questions. Part 4, 8 questions. Sorry, part 4, 6 questions. Part 5, 8 questions. So only this part, which is rational close, has 10 questions. So if you are very focused, you should be able to get all the questions correct. Now, it is basically based either on a story or it is a factual essay based on facts, or a biography, or a descriptive essay. Now, the challenges. The first one is, of course, this particular text or this particular task would test your grammar competency, your grammar proficiency, your grammar knowledge. Okay, so you need to be well versed with your grammatical components. We have discussed this. There are 8 parts of speech: noun, verb, adverb, adjective, pronoun, preposition, conjunction, and interjection. And then we have many tenses, as I've described to you. We have 15, isn't it? The other day we did a count. Okay, 15 to 16. Past tense, simple past tense, past continuous, past perfect continuous, simple present, present continuous, present perfect continuous, simple future, future continuous, future perfect continuous, past participle, present participle, perfect participle, all these. All right. And then we have subject verb agreement. Okay, depending on how the subject would agree with the verb and how does it make sense. In the past, if it is continuous tense, how does it function? I am going, I go, she is going, they are going, she was going, they were going, words like that. That agreement in a sentence to make it right. That is what we call a subject verb agreement. And then we have articles, we have modals, would not, could not, should not, can, cannot, all these. And then, so we have all these. Besides that, we also have meanings, words, set phrases, sentences, or even at paragraph levels. So all these are challenges, all right? All these are challenges which you will be facing in this particular part. Now, what could you do? You need to first get the idea of what is in the text. That's very important. To me, I would recommend you to understand the text as a whole first. Only by understanding the text would you get the idea of what is wrong. Okay, so atas request ya, cikgu akan berbahasa Melayu as well, so that you understand. Petikan itu perlu dibaca dulu. Sangat penting, sebab apa? Melalui pembacaan petikan itu, kita akan dapat idea keseluruhan. Dan idea keseluruhan adalah sangat penting untuk kita menentukan apa perkataan yang sesuai di sesuatu clause tu. Okay, so it is very important for you to identify which word would suit the space, the blank. Okay, and then identify the text type. It is very important. Why? If it is a story, many a times it will be in the past. So that is a very important idea. You need to know if it's in the past, then it will be consistently in the past. Therefore, you cannot switch tenses, which takes you to the next level, which is next point, which is identifying the tense. You need to identify if it is in the past tense or it's in the present tense. If it's a story, then it's well in the past. Okay. After that, look for the clues before and after the gap. For you to get the correct answer, look for the clue right before and after the gap. And then after fitting in your answer, after choosing and locking and fitting in your answer, check your answers after reading the text again with the words placed in the gap. All right. Now, let's not waste time. We'll move on with the practice. Are you ready for the practice?
Yes.
Students, you there? All right.
Yes,
I
sir.
need you to speak. Okay. All right. Can you all see?
Yes.
You see, this is my constraint. It has to be in a whole text, but unfortunately, I can't display it in whole. So what I've done is I've dissected a paragraph into 3. So this is set 1. It is dissected into 3, so that I'm able to display it for you to look at the text and the answer. Okay. As I told you, we need to first get the main idea of what the text is all about. So we need to read. Artificial intelligence is intelligence demonstrated by machines, unlike the natural intelligence displayed by humans and animals, which involves consciousness and emotionality. The dash between the former and the latter categories is often revealed by the acronym chosen. Strong AI is usually labeled AGI, Artificial General Intelligence, while attempts to emulate natural intelligence have been called ABI, Artificial Biological Intelligence. Leading AI textbooks dash the field as the study of intelligent agents, any device that perceives its environment and takes actions that maximize its of successfully achieving its goals. Colloquially, the term artificial intelligence is often used to describe machines or computers that mimic cognitive functions that humans associate with the human mind, such as learning and problem solving. Okay, now we may not thoroughly understand what it is trying to say, but if I were to ask you, does this text talk about Zoo Nagara?
No, sir.
Does it talk about global warming?
No, sir.
Does it talk about COVID-19?
No.
No, sir.
Does it talk about panda from China?
No.
No. Does it talk about sex education in school?
No,
No.
sir.
No, teacher.
No. Which means the scope is narrowed if you were to read the text. So you know, and your brain would direct you to the focus. So you can keep the focus confined to artificial intelligence. Something related to science is going on there. Therefore, you would try to view the options in that way. And that enables you to get the right answer. Now let's look at the options. Artificial intelligence is intelligence demonstrated at, by, with, on. So the correct answer is by machines. Okay. Unlike the natural intelligence displayed by humans and animals, which involves consciousness and emotionality. The dash between the former and the latter. So A distinctive, B distinct, C distinction, D distincts. Number 9, what is the answer?
C, sir.
C distinction. Very good. Very good. The distinction between the former and the latter categories is often revealed by the acronym chosen. Strong AI is usually labeled like 4 to S.
S.
Excellent. S. SAGI, artificial general intelligence, while attempts to emulate natural intelligence have been called ABI, artificial biological intelligence. Leading AI textbooks define, definition, defined.
D, sir.
Yeah,
D, sir.
B, define. The field as the study of intelligent agents, any device that perceives, so it's in the present tense. Therefore, the answer is B, boy. Okay. Any device that perceives its environment and takes actions that maximize its is it change or chance or chances or changes?
Chances.
Excellent. Chances. This is not an easy answer. Huh? So the correct term is chances. Okay, that maximize its chances of successfully achieving its goals. Colloquially, the term artificial intelligence is often used to describe machines or computers that mimic cognitive functions that humans associate with the human mind, such as learning and problem solving. Okay, now let's move on to the next one. This is a factual essay. This is a fact-based task. The next one, set 2, that I've prepared for you is a story. So you will see the difference. Now, can I have a volunteer to read? Would there be a volunteer to read? Let me look for the names.
Sir.
Yes.
Sir.
Sir, can I read, sir?
Who is this? Yesterday I promised to a person to read, but never mind. I think you can go. I'm referring to the list that I have, the attendance list. So who volunteered just now? The first person, the boy?
Sir?
Yes.
It's me, Shanmugalan, sir.
Okay, Shanmugavelan, please read.
As machines become increasingly capable, tasks considered to require intelligence are often removed from the definition of AI. The phenomenon known as the AI effect. A quote in Tesla's theorem says AI is whatever dash been done yet. For instance, optical character recognition is frequently excluded from things considered dash be AI. Having become a routine technology, modern machine capabilities generally classified as AI include successfully understanding dash speech, completing at the highest level in strategic game systems such as chess and Go, and also imperfect information games like poker, self-driving cars, intelligent routing in content delivery networks, and military simulations.
Very good. Thank you, Shanmugavelan. Thank you very much. Now he has read the text. So we'll go now straight to the options. As machines become increasingly capable, tasks considered to require intelligence are often removed from the definition of AI, a phenomenon known as the AI effect. A quip in Tesla's theorem says AI is whatever
A, sir.
no, whatever
Yes, sir.
Does
singular
not.
Yes, sir.
has not,
Does not.
C has not been done yet. For instance, optical character recognition is frequently excluded from things considered
Donkey. Two.
to be, yes, to be AI, having become a routine technology. Modern machine capabilities generally classified as AI include successfully understanding.
Human.
Human.
Okay, is it humane or humans?
D.
Oh, it could be humanity.
A.
D, sir.
D. D.
The correct answer is A, human speech, singular. Okay, human speech, competing at the highest level in strategic game systems such as chess and Go, and also imperfect information games like poker, self-driving cars, intelligent routing, in content delivery networks and military simulations. Now, last one. Okay, is Kishalini in here? Are you in here, Kishalini? Kishalini isn't in here. Okay, she wanted to read. Okay, now whoever volunteers, the other person who volunteered just now. Any other volunteers? All right, Kenneth, could you read, Kenneth?
Sure, sir. For most blank its history, AI research has been divided into subfields that often blank to communicate with each other. These subfields are based on technical considerations such as particular goals, e.g., robotics or machine learning, the use of particular tools, logic or artificial neural networks, or deep philosophical differences. Subfields has also been based blank social factors, particular institutions, or the work of particular researchers.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, now for most
Of.
yeah,
A.
okay, A of its history, AI research has been divided into subfields that often
Failed.
C. Sir. Failed.
A, B,
Fail.
C, D
C.
has been
C,
divided.
sir.
You look at the term. Has been divided is present perfect, isn't it? It's a present perfect tense, isn't it? Has been divided into subfields that often, subfields plural. So,
B.
no, it is not a
B, sir.
continuous, it is not a, you see boy, it is not a continuous tense. Continuous tense, then you can use ing, failing. But there is no continuous tense. It's a present perfect. Has been divided.
C.
D, sir.
D.
C.
D. Okay, why is it D? Because it's present perfect. Into subfields that often, subfields plural, so that often fail to communicate with each other. These subfields are based on learning considerations, such as particular goals, for example, robotics or machine learning, the use of particular tools, logic or artificial neural networks, or deep philosophical differences. Subfields have also been based
On.
Social factors, particular institutions, or the work of particular researchers. Okay, now this is
Sir.
quite heavy. Yeah.
What is the answer for the question number 17?
D, fail.
Okay, sir.
Teacher,
Yeah,
what the answer of the question 16?
16
Yes, sir.
of A.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Okay, now this was a bit heavy. Now we'll move on to something that's lighter, a story. But don't take it light. Okay, now, can I have a volunteer, please, to read this?
Sir, can I read?
I study?
Who? Too many? Can one of you? Who was it? Or can I just call names?
Sure.
All right. Yes, I think Aboy. I heard you.
Okay. This winter, as I finish hand stitching a large quilt, I remember when I made my very first one. It was 1958, and my husband, our first son, Desh. I live in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. I had recently dashed my job with the Bell telephone call to stay home and to take care of our new baby. Unexpectedly and tragically, Our child was taken from us by the dreaded creep death.
Okay, so let's see. This winter, as I finished hand stitching a large quilt, I remember when I made my very first one. It was 1958, and my husband, our first son,
Wait.
with I,
And
and I lived in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. I had recently,
C, sir.
is it a continuous tense? The word
D,
had
sir.
shows it's perfect.
D.
Yes,
A.
I had recently given up my job. It's a perfect tense, isn't it? I had recently given up my job with the Bell Telephone Corporation to stay home and to take care of our new baby. Unexpectedly and tragically, our child was taken from us by the dreaded creep death. Okay.
Sir,
Oh,
sir, I have a doubt, sir.
yes.
What is the dreaded creep death, sir?
Oh, it was some ailment that must have attacked the child when it was at a very young age. I'm not particularly sure of what the death was, but it was in 1958, so many years ago. So there could have been many reasons. I didn't go into the intricacies of the reason of the death, but it's surely some untimely death. Okay, all right. Okay, now let's move on to the next paragraph. Okay, can Sean do me the favor of reading the text?
Definitely, sir, definitely. I wasn't sure what to dash next. How does a person go on after a dash like that? At first, I thought I would search for a new job to keep me busy, but it turned out to be a torture as I quickly dashed. It was too soon for me to face the public. So instead, I dashed to do something productive at home. My mother was a very good seamstress, and when I was 10 years old, she showed me how to sew a, a straight seam and let me practice making doll clothes. Mostly, I loved watching her sew. While she pedaled my family's straddle sewing machine, she would sing. Her favorite song, Dash, The Daring Young Man on the Flying Trapeze.
Okay,
I hope it is good enough.
it was. It was. Okay, I wasn't sure what to.
D.
Yeah. What to. Okay, after the word to, it has to be a root word. Remember this rule. After the word to is being used, the following word must be a root word. I wasn't sure what to
Do.
do next. Excellent. How does a person go on after
A loss. A.
a loss? No. Not lost. A loss. It's a noun. B. Loss. Like that. Creep death can be very upsetting because you don't know the reason why the child is dead. Creep. You know what's a creep, right? Where they place the kid. So it could be many reasons. And creep death basically means there is no diagnosis to it. It could have been any reason that the child would just die like that. And it was quite frequent then in comparison to now. So this person was devastated. Okay. At first,
A, sir.
so number no, it's not A, it's B. Loss, kehilangan. Lost, hilang. Loss, kehilangan. So how does a person go on after a loss like that? This is where the catch is. You see, number 12, if you look at the options, I've given all very similar, very close options from the same word, from the same family. So this is where the catch is. And this is how SPM questions would be. All right. Now, at first, I thought I would search for a new job to keep me busy, but it turned out to be a torture as I quickly
A. Realize.
realized.
D, sir.
Yes, because this is a story Therefore, it's in the past tense.
Should be in
So
past.
realized. Yes, very good. It was too soon for me to face the public. So instead, I, past tense, yes, chose to do something productive at home. My mother was a very good seamstress, and when I was 10 years old, she showed me how to sew a straight seam and let me practice making doll clothes. Mostly, I loved watching her sew. While she pedaled my family's treadle sewing machine, she would sing. Her favorite song,
Was.
very
Was.
good, was The Daring Young Man on the Flying Trapeze. Okay, last one. Can I have a volunteer to read? Any
Me,
volunteer?
for me,
Okay, please, yes, thank you.
I had few much seen then. After we got married, my husband Clary gave me an electric sewing machine because I'd been working. I hadn't had the time for it. Well, I had time now and I needed a challenge. So to make a bed size qui- quiet,
Quilt, quilt.
quilt, I know where I could get scrap of cotton fabric and lots of help. First, I asked my mother and Beta where I could get scrap of cotton fabric and lots of help. First, I asked my mother and Beta, my mother-in-law, for their sewing scraps. Then I spaced off Aunt June, who made clothing for her four girls all the time. They were all eager to help. Mom always told me busy hands are happy hands. Following her advice, I kept busy with my colorful quilt, and sure enough, the tears become scarer as I wash and iron all the fabric and space a good beginner's patterns. Mom even gave me 4 feet sacks for the leaning. Before long, I was ready to be a quailing bee,
Quilting bee.
quilting bee.
All right. Okay, I hadn't sewn much since then. After we got married, my husband Claire gave me an electric sewing machine. Because I'd been working, I hadn't had the time for it. Well, I had time now and I needed a challenge. So I
Decided.
decided, past tense, to make a bit-sized quilt. I knew where I could get scraps of cotton fabric and lots of help. First, I asked my mother and Bertha, my mother-in-law, for their sewing scraps. Then I
Thought.
thought, thought of Aunt June, who made clothing for her four girls all the time. They were all eager to help. Mom always told me, busy hands are happy hands. Following her advice, I kept busy with my colorful quilt, and sure enough, the tears became scarcer as I washed and ironed all the fabric and
Found.
Found.
found a good beginner's pattern. Mom even gave me 4 feet sacks for the lining. Before long, I was ready to be a quilting bee. Well, now that's all for the practice. Now, vocabulary, as I promised. Every day you will get 5 new words if these are new. Okay, to some of my students, it wouldn't be new, but you can please take down these words. The first one is to banish. Today the vocabulary is be. To banish is to expel, to remove legally, okay, with authority. The second one is bemoan, which is to regret strongly. Third one, beseech, ask for or request earnestly. Okay, so when you pray to God for something, you beseech Him. Okay, bicker, to squabble or to argue over trivial matters, petty matters, small matters. Then the last one is to blurt, to utter impulsively. Okay, Either you are driven by anger or for whatever reason, you say things out without having a control of what you say. That's blurting. So 5 new words: banish, bemoan, beseech, bicker, blurt. All right. So with that, students,